What's up, hippo lovers? I was traveling, couldn't record in time, but met the Mister some days ago and he said, Nelly, where was your video? I was missing it, so here we are, simply to not disappoint. The Mister. Things that happened this month. There was a release of the long-awaited eSport calendar. Basically, if you go to the Age of Empires website, I will link it below as well, you can now get an idea of what tournaments are coming in the next 11 months. Age of Empires 1 to 4 and Age of Mythology. Obviously, there could not been all announcements before tournament hosts were comfortable. So for some tournaments it says 1v1 tournament TBA, for example, but a lot of tournament hosts were comfortable posting those. So you see Age of Empires 2 has a tournament coming in November. Before that, we have the SAX Nations Cup happening. After that, an offline event tournament, a league, yada yada, we are continuing. Then we have Valhalla and also an offline tournament again, Rage Forest 4v4 and so forth and so on, and you will get a good idea of what tournaments you want to see in the future, and you can plan a bit more, maybe even some trips to the offline tournaments. Then we had the World Desert Championship. 3v3 tournament. Lots of people scared that GL would dominate, and they didn't in one match, but the rest looked really, really solid. Against Wii Sports, it actually went to 2-1 match points, or 2 match points, therefore Wii Sports, but in the end they could not win it. And from there on, GL just looked really, really solid. I think $30,000 prize pool there, well, $8,000 for Gamer Legion. Lots of diverse maps with that. Drama. There was a group stage match of Wii Sports, and between there was a mix of 1v1 games and then 3v3s. There was multiple long pauses. One of the reasons was because there was a potential king snipe, and that needed to be checking, but didn't really, like, there was a bit of lack of admin communication. Players were thinking about giving admin win, yada yada. And then there were, because there were so long breaks, a player had to pause because he wanted to eat or like get his noodles out of the pot or something. Like, that was Leary. And lots of viewers were extremely frustrated with the long pauses in their eyes because of Wii Sports. Wii Sports in that sense joined by MBL, Hart and Leary. And then a lot of discussion started in their official Discord, joined by top players like Hera raised his concerns about the tournament, and Leary went in the views of a lot of people in a very extreme manner, in the sense that he criticized how long they had to wait, how the tournament is structured, and then people criticized him for not preparing enough. On stream, they looked through the maps and were relatively extreme in their views about them. And then he made a quote, "What is your elo?" to someone that tried to argue with him, and then all hell broke loose in the Discord channel. People just, didn't really see that as a reasonable approach of Leary. He then made a longer post again, trying to explain his point of view, that they're preparing, that's a lot of new maps, I think like 30 new maps or something like that, and that they're prepared, and it just felt weird that they were put on to like so much criticism. I think the major problem here was that there was no dedicated player feedback channel compared to the public feedback channel. And that's why everyone could suddenly like attack the players, and all the feedback that should have been between players and tournament organizers was public. Also, I think that Leary had some really strong beliefs that I don't agree with. I will link you down below the Discord messages as well, so that you can follow that. Then, SAX Nations Cup, $50,000 sponsored tournament by the SAX guy, who... By the way, did I show? I did show. I think I showed it, right? If not, I will try to edit some pictures in there. We are in the qualification and faced Argentina, Chile after they beat Germany, Vietnam, Poland, Russia, Taiwan, after they barely lost to Austria, Spain and France, still with a chance to fight for the chances to get into the top 8 for invited teams. Brazil, Canada, China and Finland. So that will be the main story of October happening there. Again, drama. There were a lot of high-level players that did not sign up. MBL, Leary, the Viper, Hera. And obviously a lot of fans want to know, okay, why didn't they sign up? And ask Memp, who is hosting this tournament. And he said he wouldn't know and that they should ask Hera. Or like all the other players. And that resulted in Hera making a video that he felt a bit maybe harassed. I'm not sure. He probably didn't use that word, but like that's the feeling that I got out of the video. That now people ask him for his reasons why he wouldn't play. Obviously, person he can do whatever. It just felt odd to a lot of people. He then explained that it was a mixture of the tournament, like the streaming rules not being great for him, with a mix of 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4s. There's downtime in his stream with a delay compared to some games that he's streaming, some games that he's casting, and also traveling and therefore sitting this one out. So a bit of, that was my Discord, my WhatsApp, so a bit of like back and forth there between Memp and Hera in a public forum, or like on YouTube videos. Moving on to really good news. We had another Red Bull Vololo, and it was an incredible show. That's something that we can all agree on, I believe. When it ran. Because something, as you can see here, due to technical difficulties on the first day, the official broadcast started the stream with the third game of the third set. There were issues. There were issues in the production. The show itself, when it ran, was incredible. Tournament, as you can see, we had a group stage before. Win twice, you're through. Lose twice, you are out. And we had some banger matchups. Leary versus Tato and the Viper versus Leary. The two best sets probably of the tournament. Go watch those VODs if you have limited time. Hera in the end, really, really dominant. And just showing that he's the clear #1. And finally winning that Red Bull trophy that he so deserved. He grinded so hard. I felt that at Red Bull 6 he already was the best player in the world. And finally, he gets that only trophy that he was really missing. So good for him. Then, sadly, some drama included there as well. But everyone who makes drama out of it, I think, is in the wrong. Just to start this off. Let's take a look at those camels moving over here at the top and how they behave. Hera's doing a micro that he only recently learned and exploited this in used this in multiple games. You see that stand ground micro in really small ground. We had that in Paladins versus Halberdier fights earlier on as well. Just to be said, this had no impact in the outcome of any game. But we obviously still have to question, okay, should this be included in the game or not? This is a known thing, has been used for many, many years. And this is not to be confused with the micro that I explained to you last month, which I think is completely imbalanced, was discussed with the admin, and all players agreed would not be used. So Phosphorus micro is something else. This is stand ground micro in a small area. Weaknesses are that you can have better angles where you try to attack the corner and get better arc against the units. Or just don't engage because it's a passive patrol. So this is not completely imbalanced. This is strong if used in a defensive manner. And Hera showed how effective it is. But he gets a lot of criticism for, I think, what should not be worthy of criticism. My opinion. But still, incredible event. I also have viewer numbers for you. There we go. AoE 1, 83k, AoE 2, 85k, scratching 86k, and therefore the highest peak in Age of Empires history. I think Hidden Cup and last Red Bull had like 76, 77, something in that ballpark. Yeah, so incredible success. If only there weren't the technical difficulties at the start of day 1, at the start of day 2, and at the finals, I think we would have broken 100,000 there for AOE2. If it was just a smooth 6 games, there was a drop of 7,000 viewers between, or like, I think at the end of, after game 2 and 3, there was like an hour break, sadly. Clip of the month won't be in-game content, but something that was extremely intense, and I cried. And mainly because I was overwhelmed. It was after the entrance of Hera and Viper on the big stage, a band was playing, and then the crowd took over singing Age of Empires. I got absolutely overwhelmed. I turned to Jordan sitting next to him and said, like, I could not have played. I could not have played. Obviously, the castle shots, take a look at them. The location was something that we have never seen before. And just tell Red Bull how much you liked it. And maybe in some metrics that will help them out. That was an intense month. Obviously, the main highlight, Red Bull Vololo. Rewatch it, especially the 2 sets that I gave you. And the look ahead will be SAX Nations Cup. And that's it. Goodbye, Hippo lovers.